Cool. All right. So let's pivot away from credit cards and aliens over to some hot seats. All right. And what we're going to do is I have 3 hot seats here. It's 3 o'clock. I told you guys I'd get you out of here by 4. I'll stay a little longer if I need to. A reminder, we did have a third presentation if you showed up a little bit late. Unfortunately, the presenter had to back out at the last minute. Very sick dog that he had to rush off to the vet. It's a good friend of mine, Josh, and you know, he's not a liar, so that was a real thing. I know his dog personally. His dog loves me, by the way. I'm a dog guy. I walk in his house on my lap, licking my face within seconds. The guy's like, dude, dog like never does that to people. I'm like, I'm a dog whisperer, bro. But he will be here on another time and date to deliver a really good presentation as it pertains to SendPad. He is the CEO of SendPad, and he will be here another day to deliver that. So we'll cut things after about an hour, and let's just get in to some hot seats. So the very first one we have here, let me just close the Q&A box, is, I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm not sitting in front of my big screen today. Oh my God, what a concept I can actually see. So we got myhappyguide.com. Let me just move some boxes down here. And I have the ad account up. And I think I lost myhappyguide.com there, but I'll bring it back up. There we go. Here's the ad account. Oh no, it was right there the whole time. It was just called Inbox P1. And then we have the Google Sheet. Okay. So we're doing this live. I'm going to give you a critique, some feedback where I haven't actually even looked at your stuff. All right. So it appears as though we had some data running on, looks like most of the stuff was running from February 22nd to March 1st with this retire offer, with some other stuff that's run more recently on the inbox offer. Let's go with survey here. Okay. So let's focus on this time period of March 17th to March 27th. If you look at the email opt-ins, there's some stuff here. We have 238 leads. We have 99 clicks to the max bounty offer, which doesn't make sense because something just must not have. How would you have 12 email opt-ins, but only 2 clicks on the max bounty offer? Same with this, same with this, same with this. It just, something seems off here. So it's kind of hard for me to, I'm going to go with something different. We're just going to use the clicks. I'm going to assume that these are your leads. I don't know what these are, but that just doesn't seem right, because you can't have 238 people on your email list when only 99 clicked on the max bounty offer. You know what I mean? That means that 139 people didn't become an email. 139 people are on your email list that never saw the max bounty offer. I guess some of it could have been going to the survey traffic, I suppose. But I don't know. That just seems to be a little incongruent there, which is fine. We'll make do with that. So first of all, if we have 99 clicks and you made $28.80, 5 by 99, looks like we got about a 30-cent EPC, which for a survey offer is a little bit low. And you have enough clicks now, about 100 of them, where I would say, it might be time to check out a different offer so we can up our EPC on things. Okay, so that's something to just keep in the back of your mind. We'll make a little bit of a note on that right here. Note 1, EPC on offer is low. Okay, so going back to your page, let me just pull this up on my phone. You can always do it on developer tools, but the ultimate test is, what does it look like on your phone? myhappyguide.com. All right. So looking on my phone, we have something like this. Pretty good. You know, the buttons, I clicked on something. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Your buttons are good. Okay. Probably don't need 3 headlines here, because on the phone, it looks like 3 headlines. So one easy thing to do, I would say, is join the work from home revolution is fine. Do surveys, complete simple tasks. I mean, I think the headline is a little bit boring, just being quite honest. There's no like sexiness to it, like, oh, earn up to $150 a day just by filling out surveys, you know, something along those lines, or it's a little sexier. And there's, you can see 1, 2, 3 like headline areas. It's a little too much at the top. So that is one thing I would focus on as well. The rest of it looks fine. Do you live in the USA? Well, look at this. Cannot determine the location of the visitor. That's probably because of funnel flux, right? So you got to make sure that you enable, you know, organic traffic as well, which you can do inside of funnel flux. I'm assuming that everything is right on funnel flux. I don't have your funnel flux link, so I can't click any further through. What I would just assume is that, you know, your next page probably has the exact same. Let me just see here if I can see action 1. I don't know, I'd be guessing here. So I can assume your next page has another question, and I can assume your opt-in form is working right. So let's make the assumptions that your opt-in form is working right. Your next page looks like this with a different question. I think we could have a catchier headline and the EPC on the offers low. So let's say catchier headlines and less headlines, right? Looks like you got 3, 2 instead of 3. Right? So that's another thing we want to make note of. Okay, notes. All right, let me dive into the Google stats. All right, so we have March 17th to March 27th. We're going to look at. We're in the right one, yeah. March 17th to March 27th. Okay, March 17th to March 27th. We have this work from home campaign. So we spent 316 Aussie dollars. Sorry, this always is a little more challenging because of the conversion. Let's go 316 AUD to USD. So you can see here on the taskbar, it's about 210 bucks. So we spent 210 bucks to make 30. Pretty big loss, right? We're down a bunch, 70%, 80%, something like that. But let's dive in and see what we can do here. So according to Google, which is the ultimate form of things, we have 491 clicks, right? And to be quite fair, actually, let me just check one thing. This is the ultimate test here. I'm going to check which ad group that you ran the ads on. So we have this one here, which now I can't even click through. You got to make sure, by the way, press the edit button here. You're gonna, one thing to make sure is that your funnel flux links are updated. Maybe that's something you've just been recently working on. But when I do click on that, you see it doesn't work because you don't have the actual funnel flux link in the final URL. But that could be because this isn't the ad group that we're referring to. Let's try do survey. Also kind of broken. It's gonna give you the same thing again. I'm assuming that you have just started adding funnel flux onto your pages and they were working before. That would make the most sense. So obviously they're not working because you put the funnel flux links on them and they need to have it on. So anyways, it's a bit of a challenge for me at the top. Obviously you weren't using the bottom one, but were you sending all 3 of these to Max Bounty? I don't know, right? This one has 130 conversions. Let's just look at March 17th, for example, to see if I can make some inferences here. You guys got to provide me with more info on these hot seats. You know, I don't know which ad group is running what. So we have 49 clicks on this one. We have 25 clicks on the second one. If I look at your stats, it says you would have had 27 conversions on the 17th. Let's look here. Yeah. And okay, this one says 26 combined between Google and between work from home and make money online ad groups. So it does seem like both of these ad groups were running. Check the 18th. We got 26. Here we have, it says 10. Not sure why only 10 on the 18th conversions, according to Max Bounty, but you have 26 in Google. So I don't know, man. The stats, it's going to be hard for me to troubleshoot this hot seat when things are kind of all over the place, right? Were you then only running, you know, I don't know. It's really hard for me to troubleshoot this one because we have 26 conversions going on here on the 18th, but your stats say you had 10. You know, let me look at the 20th here. The 20th on your stats, it says 12. So that's a little bit more accurate. So it does look like you're running all 3 of your ads to your lander. And it does look like your conversions are tracking properly in Google. So at least we have that. So if I go from the 17th to 27th, it looks like you have a conversion, a cost per conversion of $1.34. Your EPC is 30 cents. So that's a mismatch right there. Your conversion rate says it's 48%. That's really good. I don't know why you have 236. I think what's happening here is your Max Bounty stats you must be providing me wrong stats because your email opt-ins say 238 and your Google says 236, but your Max Bounty clicks here says 99. That doesn't make sense. This should also be 230 something. It should be really, really close. So that's way off. And are you sure your earnings are only $28.80? That seems very low because if I was $28.80 and I divided it by 236, that means your EPC is like 12 cents. That's really, really low compared to the fact that you're paying $1.34, well, 1.34 AUD to USD, which is 90 cents. Okay. So you're paying 90 cents a lead to make 12 cents is what that appears like to me, unless there's more revenue than I'm not seeing. Okay. So even if you're paying 90 cents to make 30 cents, you're down a bunch. But the reality is, you clearly need a better offer. Your conversion rate, as much as I'm like, oh, you should change your headlines and stuff. I mean, I don't know, the conversion rate looks pretty darn good to me. You're at 48%. So it doesn't seem like you actually should update anything. You know, you could probably try, let's look at the search impression shares here. Okay, let me just add a column on the competitive metrics. Just say that will apply. Search impression share is less than 10%. You know, you're paying 90 cents a lead. I think that's pretty good. So to me, this is an offer, an issue of offer. Okay. Let's segment out by device here for a sec. Let's see if we're seeing any opportunities there. So you're only running mobile phones anyways. So that's good. Usually mobile is the way to go. Just make sure you have search partners off because search partners just kill you. You do. And then it's a matter of like, all right, well, let's go into the work from home here and let's start optimizing by keywords. And we have a cost per conversions here. You turned off online jobs. You know, should that have been turned off? I don't know. It looks like it's getting $1.38 cost per conversion, which is, you know, reasonable. You know, some of these like at-home jobs, $2 you could probably turn off. Right. But like, let's say you could get 70, 80 cents on a reasonable survey offer. I just have experience in this. A reasonable survey offer with quality should get you 70, 80 cents US dollars EPC. And you're already getting 90 cents a lead, right? So if you're getting 90 cents and you get 80 cents, you're pretty close. So then it's a matter of like, well, how do I lower my cost per conversion? So maybe it's a matter of like trimming through. Let's see what gets me to 80 cents. Boom, $1.20. It's a matter of trimming through and saying, okay, well, where do I have $1.20 cost per conversion or lower? This one's doing well. This one's doing well. This one's way too high. So go pause that. Go pause that. You can go into the search terms, right? You can sort by cost per conversion here. And you can say there's a whole bunch of search terms here that have really low cost per conversions. Here's one of 52 cents that has 7 conversions, how to make money online, earn money, and so on and so forth. So This to me is an easy one. Something is wrong. I don't know what happened, but there's, your Google stats are really matching your SendPad stats. Okay. So something seems to be wrong with why more people weren't seeing the offer. So I would look at my form code with SendPad. Something's just, maybe it's not redirecting properly. I don't know what's going on there, but you have 100 clicks when you should have like 238 clicks. So there's a mismatch there, and that's costing you money. Number two, you need to find an offer that's going to get you 70, 80 cent EPC. That's the second one. I thought the headlines, change this, change that. I wouldn't even touch it. You're getting a 48% opt-in rate. Let it be. Don't even touch it. So fix your redirect, test different offers, and then keyword search term reports. Really, really easy to do. If you get a better offer in there, getting you 70 cent EPC, and you lower your cost per lead down from 90 to 80 to 70, you're right there. It's literally 2 levers that you have to pull with a technical issue that looks like with people not seeing your offer after opt-in. So find a better offer and trim your keywords and add and search terms and stuff, and you're good. That's it. Okay. So that is for happyguide.com. All right. All right, Jeff here. We got another survey guy. All right. Let's bring that up. So we got, let me see if I had, this is just a long ass link here. So I'm going to assume that what I'm about to show here on mobile looks like this on my phone. So when I look at it, I would push this whole bottom part below the fold. Just a problem. It might be on your phone, just in case it's not. I want to make sure that is. Get actual cash instead of points. It's good, right? It's a little dicey, get cash, right? We've talked about that stuff. I mean, that is pushing the boundaries of what Google and Microsoft will be okay with. New users also receive a $5 bonus just for joining. How do you want to make money? Any way I can. I'm just looking at this, and to me, you're really towing the line here of being a little bit outside of Google and Microsoft's make money online policy. Okay, so you might want to like scale that energy back a little bit. All right, so play around with stuff, get actual cash. First of all, when you say get money, you're literally guaranteeing people money. That's like what they see. So instead of like get cash, why don't you say like you could receive cash? That's at least a little better. You might qualify for, right? And I would even say just something a little bit more generic, like looking to earn instead of points, right? New sign up today and you could qualify for a $5 bonus. Boom. So much more tame. Says the same thing. I know it's not as hypey, but keeps you kosher. All right. So I haven't even looked at your stats yet, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa, time out, dude. Like scale that back. All right. So take surveys. I want cash. Boom. Good. Everything looks good. Okay. I would just be a little bit less hypey. It's too much. Okay. So calm down, would be my first thought, just to make sure that you stick around. By the way, I'm not actually all insulting, but this is the kind of stuff we see when people are like, I followed the training and no, that's not following the training. That is not reading Microsoft and Google's policies. You're really pushing the boundaries, and like I could totally see something like that getting shut down. That is the type of stuff they hate. It's just a little it's too much. You're basically guaranteeing people money. So take everything I say with love, my man, but scale that back. All right, scale that back. All right. So we got here $451 of earnings. We have on 188 clicks, if I'm not mistaken. That seems wrong. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That seems wrong because like you got 451 divided by 188. I mean, your EPC is $2.39 on a survey offer. I don't think so, but we also have 898 clicks. on 180, maybe the leads are the people that press the confirmation email. That would make a lot more sense. Let's see what Google looks like, okay? And we got 1854. You got a $2.40, you know, survey EPC, then, I mean, you're just crushing it. I don't know what we're even doing this hot seat for, but let's see here. So we are talking about the time period from March 1st to March 27th. So let's look at that. We spent $879 to make $451. All right, you know, so we're closing the gap. It's not so bad. We had, during this time period, if I can assume the conversions right, we had 160 conversions. All right, well, that does kind of equal to 188. And we had that on 1,300 clicks. So your conversion rate is 12%. So right then and there, that's an easy one. You got to change, you got to play around with your pages. You got to play around with your, well, look at this one, limited, all ads limited by policy. Some of your ads can only be, yeah, look at this, clickbait. You see that? You got to change that, man. Change that immediately. I didn't even have to look at your Google account to predict that stuff. So the content is too dicey, man. It's way too dicey. Just calm down on that, okay? So that's number one, is your conversion rate is really low. I'm not sure how you have all of this revenue here at $450. It just seems wrong. You know, I'm not, I mean, did you email them? Like, it's just tough for me to believe that. I'm not saying you're lying at all, but it's just like your EPC is just insane. Like, even if we go from the 14th, you have $390 on 163 clicks. I mean, that's just like unfathomable on an inbox offer. So not too sure that is what's going on that. That's tough for me to, that's tough. I don't know how much of that max bounty money is related to Google Ads, okay? But why don't we just make the assumption that the inbox dollar ads is giving you a 70-cent EPC, which they usually do. Your cost per conversion is way too high. You're paying $5 a lead, and it's because your opt-in rate it's too low, right? Your conversion rate is 12%. So that's an easy one, you know, up the ante on that. Also, another lesson I've said many times, you shouldn't wait to have 1,300 clicks to figure out that your opt-in rate is too low. You'll know that in the first 100 clicks. You get 100 clicks, you have 11 opt-ins. I'm pressing timeout and going, I don't know, something's wrong with my page. I'm not getting enough opt-ins here, okay? Lots of broad match keywords in here. I see that they're paused, but you know, let's make sure we're only starting out with phrase match. It looks like you might have started with broad, and then when I said something about phrase, you're like, oh crap, let's not do broad match. So that's a good idea. Let me just see here. You have switched to target CPA. So let me just look at when you did that in the change history here. Okay, it looks like there were no bidding changes in March. So let's see when it happened in February. It's like, did we start the campaign on a target CPA? It's interesting that is what happened. Or maybe I don't have the ability to see the changes you've made. Oh, okay. So we decreased the target CPA to $1.25. Let's see what happened in March. Bid limit, target campaign strategy changed from max clicks to max conversions. Okay, so we changed it at some point. I don't know why it's messed up here for me, but we were doing max bids up until it looks like March the 9th was when the change was made. So let's go back and see what happened the first 9 days of March. We were paying $5.23 cost per conversion, 54 cents a click. Okay. What's our CTR here? Do we have CTR? It's weird. Columns. Results. Let's see something here. CTR is 9%. And then from the 10th to the 27th, our cost per conversion went up, our CPC went up, our CTR went down. Let me just see something here. Okay, perfect. So one thing right away to notice is desktop needs to be turned off. It's not a ton of your traffic, but that needs to die immediately because it's just spending way too much money. And then let me see network here. Yeah, and you have search partner traffic on. I assumed you did. You got to turn that off, man, immediately. That's just, I mean, I know you're getting $3 cost per conversion here, but it's probably getting you like no revenue would be my guess. Even though the conversion rate's up, I mean, this is interesting. It never works like that, but well, you know what? I don't want to say turn that off immediately. Double check your numbers here. That's interesting. It rarely turns out like that on Google, but double check your numbers. What I'm looking at here is a scenario where you just need to update your lander. It's hurting you big time. You're getting like a 10% opt-in rate. You're spending way too much money. We should have figured that out. You know, I don't know when I say stuff like that, it sounds like I'm being mean, but you know, we need to be able to make that determination within the first 100 clicks, 200 clicks max, 1,300 clicks, just a little too long to leave it to figure out that like, you know, your opt-in rate is just way too low. I'm just going to check the search impression share here as well. Yeah, so I mean, we definitely don't want to bid up any higher. Your target CPA is at $1.25. Your cost per conversion is $5 because Google doesn't know how to get you traffic yet, right? It doesn't know because it's not liking your page. Your opt-in rate is just, it's not good. So I wonder if there's any sort of recent data that was good. I mean, no, unless your conversions are tracking wrong. 34 conversions on 197 clicks. I mean, 17%, it's getting better, but we need to definitely go back. We need to play around with our landing page a little bit more. First of all, it's a little too hypey. Maybe that's why people aren't opting in. Maybe people are like, this looks scammy to me, right? So I guess on this hot seat, the only thing I can really give you advice on is go back to the drawing board and on your page. It's just too hypey. Yeah, your opt-in rate is way too low. So go back, tone it down a little bit, have a catchier headline, and you know, come back and take some of your best keywords here. Like, let's just look and see if there are any keywords at all that are doing decent. You know, here's one, the $2 conversion, cost per conversion. You know, so I would go through some of these from the 21st to 20, so the 1st to 27th, and I would go back to the drawing board and I would start with the ones that, let's see here, conversions, the ones that are actually like doing okay, and start there. Does not equal is greater than 0. So yeah, like some of these ones, I would take all of these, give them a broad match. I mean, that's probably also affecting you, because broad match generally performs poorer. So again, in the training, we talk about starting at phrase match. I would start some of your keywords, some of your better keywords here that are getting you like $2 or less. I would start them at the phrase match level. I would start them on a new page, and then I would gradually add more keywords in from there. That's what I would do. So go back, tweak your page, take your best 20 keywords or so that are doing, you know, and search terms, put them at the phrase and exact match level only. Don't go broad. That's going to tighten things up. Let that run for a week or so at your $1.25 target CPA, and let's see what happens at the end of the week, and then slowly add more keywords in. Okay, that's what I would do on that one. So notes on this one. Nope. Let me just see here. Am I in the right? Let me make sure I'm in the right. Yeah, I am. Well, it is what it is. So the notes are redo pages. I don't know, less hypey, we'll say. And take best 20 KW/search terms, run at phrase/exact only. Okay, let's try that. Keep it at $1.25 TCPA, turn off desktop. I'm gonna leave it up to you. Your search partner, I can't tell whether it's making revenue, but it does seem to be performing okay. If you wanna leave it on, I've never had any good results with it, but I'm gonna put the ball in your court. I'm gonna say optional, turn off search partners. Okay. Moving on to, my wheelhouse, rent-to-own. I've done many of these, so let's do one last one here and we'll take some questions. 2241. All right. And the sheet. All right. So let's see if we get one where the numbers make sense. That would be nice. So we got 26 on 116 equals, I can't do that, okay. 26 divided by 116. We got an EPC of 22 cents. A little bit low for a rent-to-own offer. You should be getting 50 plus on search. So 100 clicks, low EPC, change the offer, okay? Try thinking outside of Max Bounty too, guys. It's not hard to go to other networks and say, hey, I'm running rent-to-own. I've spent money on Max Bounty. Here's my proof. If you have a better offer, I'm looking for 50 plus cent EPC. They'll help you out, okay? I'm gonna check my phone here and I'm gonna Google this on my phone. It's easier just to make sure it's working properly. trendingups.com/rent to home. Okay. All right. This looks great. I don't know if you guys see it. It looks great. Why rent when you can own? Your path to home ownership is as low as $6.99 a month. When do you plan on moving in? Are you a resident of America? Boom. This is great. Great. All great. Okay. I put my phone in. I'm going to put some bogus information in. And we are going to submit. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to have to trust me. You got processing page, which redirects to the rent to own offer. Look at that. All smooth, all nice, all looks good. Okay. So we have from March 7th to March 28th. On RTO, I'm not going to go do every single one you're doing here. I'm only going to look at the rent. Oh, we've done surveys to death. Let's take a break from that. So, sorry, we got here the 7th to the 28th. So March 7th, March 28th, click apply. And we spent 300 to make 26. Actually, good. Let's look at the RTO. 205 to make 26. Again, 500 clicks. It's a little long to wait to understand that the offer sucks. Like, guys, we need to be pivoting faster. Let's not wait. You got 500 clicks to your landing page and you've made $26. We would have known that within, the first 50 clicks, right? Got to pivot a little bit faster. CTR is good. Conversions, 107 conversion rates, 20.86. We are on a, let's see here, just looking at stuff, the ad group. So are we, wait, where's the business strategy settings? One sec. So we're still using a click strategy. I question why. Let's switch to TCPA. That's automatically probably going to boost you from 20 to 30% immediately overnight. Not always, but we have, we're doing a maximize clicks strategy when we should be doing an automated bidding target CPA strategy. So that's number one. That's a very easy thing that we can do. Let's just check out the device here. Okay, computers and mobiles are performing very similarly, although computers are not getting a lot of traffic. So it's up to you whether you want to turn it off or not. We have spent not enough money and most of our traffic is coming mobile. So, it's really up to you. Let's make sure let's take a look at our search partners here. Okay, good. You have search partners off. Okay, so to me, I wouldn't really play around with the page yet. I would switch to target CPA. Let's see if we can bump our conversion rate from 20 to 30 and then make some tweaks on the pages. Some simple tweaks. Obviously, we could play around with the headline. We could play around with the button color, things along those lines. I would also then, we don't need to do anything with the devices. 40 cents a click is okay. You're paying $1.92 cost per conversion. I think we can probably, reasonably start our target CPA at about $1.20 and lower it down from there. But if we can lever up by raising our conversion rate through switching a bid strategy, through some optimizations, get it to 35 to 40, we can then lower our target CPA over time down to like $1, 90 cents, 80 cents, and let's go get ourselves a better rent-to-own offer. We can also then do what everybody should do at every point of time, is start looking at your cost per conversions. Like here's one. Why are we still running this keyword? We have 18 clicks, we're paying $3.41. It sucks, turn it off, right? Turn off the bad ones. You have other ones down here, 71 cents, 62 cents, 33 cents. These are ones that we want to $1.06. Okay, they're doing pretty good. Let's run with those. These ones down here, just not taking a lot of traffic. Let's go into the search term report. Okay, maybe the same thing. We can sort by cost per conversion. We have lots of them, 96 cents, 78 cents, 75 cents, $1.02, 73, 71, 71. So we have to be on this stuff, following the calendar that we have, right? Where we have that checklist in one of the modules, I think module 6 or 7, where we have the Google checklist. You need to be performing search term and keyword analysis every single week. So the takeaway from this one is switch to TCPA. You've had over 50 conversions, switch it. Okay. Micro optimize your lander after a week of TCPA. Let run target CPA run for a week, see if that boosts you from 20 to 25, 30, and then try to keep making changes, button colors, headlines, whatever. Okay. And then, very simply put, keyword search term optimization. Okay. Shut off your high ones, add in your good ones, so on and so forth. And after a couple of weeks, let's regroup. Let's see where we're at. Oh, and also test other RTO offers. Okay. That's that. All right. It's 3:45. I promised to go at least 2 hours, so I will save 15 minutes here for some Q&A, and we can go from there. So go ahead and ask some questions, guys. Unrelated to aliens. We're all aliened out on that one. We can do that one day if we ever meet up in person. I need to update my account conversion goal. How do I do this? Or how do I change the conversion website per campaign? The best way is to watch how it's set up in Google training. Okay, you can set up multiple conversion goals. And then when you set up your ad in Google, just select the conversion goal you want to use. That's it. Very easy. Somebody's asking, if I have a really good CPA, but there's only 102 clicks, is that good? And the answer is no. I know I gave some examples. I'm just going through really quickly. There's probably some here where it's like, oh, you had 1 click. This is an awesome keyword. And it's like, well, it's only 1 click. Okay. So maybe we do have to let that run a little bit more, but generally you want to at least have, a handful of clicks to make a decision. Can you do a quick refresher on what is considered a good opt-in rate and what a good conversion rate on an offer page is? Opt-in rate should always be 30% or higher. Ultimately, you might not start that way. If you're in 10% after like 100 clicks or so, you probably have some work to do and you might want to press pause and like kind of go back to the drawing board. If you're around 20%, like Dinesh over here, it stands to reason that just to switch to target CPA and a couple tweaks to get you up to 30. So that's not hugely concerning. But if 10% and under after like 100, 200 clicks, you got to press pause. You should not wait 1,300 clicks like one of the individuals on the hot seats here. It's way, way, way too long to realize that, you just took in too much traffic that was not good. So 30% is good. 40% is really good. 50% is epic. The first individual was right around 48. That's fantastic. And that's ultimately what you would go to. Max Bounty, how do you know where your leads are coming from? Facebook or Google or both? Max Bounty won't tell you that information. That's where FunnelFlux comes in handy. I have 65 conversion, but haven't gotten any opt-in contacts. How do I change that? You could try turning off your confirmation email. They probably haven't confirmed their email. Why can't I get contacts from my opt-in? I think that's the same question that you just asked. So I will assume that what I just said was fine. Let's keep going here. Sorry, there's so many questions here. Okay. Doesn't that just mean they didn't finish doing what needed to be done to get the Max Bounty payout? The opt-in page captures the email, but there's no guarantee that they fill out what's necessary to get the payout from the CP offer, right? Yes, but if I look at the stats page and I see 236 leads in SendPad, 238 leads in Google, but only 99 clicks to the Max Bounty offer, how is that possible? Because a Max Bounty click is equal to a SendPad lead. The number should be identical or really close. Something was broken there. That means somebody in my view, either I was given incorrect numbers or something broke at some point in time between the SendPad form, not redirecting people to Max Bounty, but still putting customers on the SendPad list. That's what that would seem to be. But yeah. Didn't you say to use the double opt-in on emails so there's 500 so they don't end up in spam? Yeah, that was a suggestion. We have talked about it a few times. If you're not getting people on your list, there's nothing stopping you from turning off double opt-in. Give it a try, whatever works. And you can easily see, right? Like your follow-up automation open rates should be 30% or higher. So like if you turn off double opt-in in your SendPad account and your autoresponder is not getting, you know, a decent open rate, then you're probably hitting the spam folder. So that's where you might want to like take a little pause for yourself. How do you delete the account level site links on Google? Well, we don't really cover site links in the course. So I haven't done that in a long time. I don't use site links. So, you know, the answer to that one, my friend, is I don't know. Ask Google it. I don't have the answer to that one. I'm sorry. Usually I know a lot of things about Google, but I don't use site links. So I'm sure if I played around in Google Ads, I could figure it out. But the same way, I'm sure if you played around in Google Ads, you could figure it out. I don't even use site links. I don't see the value in them. How many contacts should you at least have to start sending emails out? You know, if you think about like 30% of people opening your email and like maybe 5 to 10% of them clicking on a link, if you had 1,000 emails, means you'd get about, you know, 200 to 300 people open your email, like, you know, 15 to 30 clicking on a link, you know, so that's probably reasonable. Even 500, I'd say, would be like, but if you had 50 people on your email list and you sent a broadcast out, you know, you might get 15 opens, you might get like 4 link clicks, probably not. I mean, you might want to send like 1 a week, but I would follow the sending video in the email training of this program. We have some guides on that, on like sending schedules, but you probably do want to wait till you have at least a few hundred people on your list before you're broadcasting regularly. That's what I would say. Have you tried AI for ad creation tools like Copysmith AI? No, I've messed around with some ChatGPT stuff, and you certainly can. I mean, is a robot really going to be better than me on a headline? You know, not that I'm smarter than a robot. I know it's, you know, infinitely programmed to do better than I, but like, you know, when we're talking about rent to own home, for example, you get 30 characters in your headline. Isn't it just as simple to say, no money down, rent to own home, get a rent to own home today? I mean, is the robot going to come up with something better than I on that? So I don't know. I don't think that in that scenario, it's going to provide a lot of value. I think it might be good for like Facebook ads where you have to be really creative, copywriting email for sure. It's going to be really creative. I know a lot of people get hung up on that, but when it comes to like a 30-character headline, yeah, I mean, you could use it. I did go and tell ChatGPT, I said, write me 5 headlines in the rent to own space. And it wrote me 5 headlines. They were really long. I said, keep them to 5 words or less. And then it gave me 5 new headlines, 5 words or less. And I said, be more edgy. And then it was more edgy. Add a call to action. And, it came up with some decent headlines, but I was like, I don't know, I could just come up with that myself. It didn't seem that awesome, So there's a lot of use for AI. It's coming. It does a lot of things. In terms of like, I don't know, maybe it's also because I've been doing marketing for 10 years. In terms of like replacing my mailer or replacing my ad copy guy, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's really that amazing at that point. Just my thoughts. Should every email we be sending be an offer, or should we be sending other emails to keep people interested? I would always send offers in this space. You're not trying to keep people interested in, the next hot thing. This isn't an e-com business. This isn't like, you're not trying to like keep your list warm and then sell them a high ticket product down the road. You're trying to get them in. They want auto insurance today. You want to get them on that auto insurance offer as fast as you can. You want to get in front of many auto insurance offers as you can until they get sick of you and they get off your list. That's really what it goes. Why do we send broadcasts rather than setting it up as a triggered event? Well, if you have somebody on your list for like, I have people on my list that stay on my list for years. How long can you make this event follow-up series trigger? I also know enough about email servers that your follow-up emails are always on a little bit of a different server than your broadcast emails. And so if your follow-up server always, goes to hell, you still have your broadcast server that you can broadcast from. So they're just different. But you can definitely play around with that and, see which works best. If I saw a CPA on Max Bounty that said no email, will they change that, or is not having the email okay? No email means no email. You can always ask your affiliate manager and say, hey, I know this says no email, but if I send you some copy, is there any way I could send an email maybe once a week, twice a week, and they'll see what they can do. But generally, no email means no email. But if there's no email on this offer, let's say you're doing auto insurance again, there's lots of auto insurance offers that do accept email. So just go find other offers to email. Somebody saying they used ChatGPT and got outstanding on both Microsoft and Google with my headlines and descriptions. And certainly, you can certainly use it. It's free right now, or $20 if you have the pro version. There's other tools out there. I'm not saying it's bad. I think if you think it's, I know people in the program get caught up on it. I don't know. We're talking about 30 characters, a few words. But I've been doing this a long time, so maybe that's why I just look at it. I'm like, 30 characters, I can come up with 15 headlines, bing, bang, boom, bang, boom. But yeah, if I went to ChatGPT right now, let me just go in. Let's do this together. ChatGPT Pro login. I don't even know how to get to the damn login. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'll log in, and that's going to send me a link, I think. Oh, actually. Look at that. We're in here. We'll do a little ChatGPT for fun. And we'll pull up ChatGPT 4 since it's supposed to be absolutely amazing. Okay. Write me 15 headlines that are 30 characters only in the rent to own a home niche. Boom. Okay. I mean, that's not bad, right? Here we go. So there you go. You could technically use it. Okay, now you could say, give me 5 headlines, 30 characters or less, that are hypey call to actions. right? And then you can say like, all right, write. This is another good one. Watch this. Be an expert advertiser and write me 4 90-character. Write me 4 descriptions that are 90 characters in the rent to own space and have a call to action at the end. Let's see what happens. That's pretty good, right? So, you know, and then you can say like, well, don't call to action shouldn't say call or apply. Explore our listings, browse our selection, be more assertive in the call to action. Yes, still got work to do. Explore our listings now is, well, I guess they put the word now that makes it more assertive. Browse our selection today. I mean, there you go, right? You can even say like, use home prices, but nothing more than $9.99 per month. Well, then they use $9.99 per month. All right, let's see what happens. Use different pricing values. There you go. Okay. So you can just go on and on, right? But to be honest, the amount of times I go in here and type that out, I probably could have just made this all up myself. But that's also because I understand the rent-to-own niche and things like that. So, you know, I think it's pretty cool anyways. Oh, and Nikki says she likes it before below the fold. I love it for below the fold. Watch this. Write me a let's just go a 1,000 word blog post on how to get rent to own homes. Make it 8 short paragraphs or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Boom. There you go. There's your below the fold content. Okay. So there you go. Denise says, nurturing your email list for a profitable niche works and can get you way more sales for profitable offers at a decent payout. So sending a value-driven content piece every other email is a good idea, provided you're trying to build your authority in a great niche. Yes, for sure. Like if you're doing what Steve with Aiden and I and others do, sure, right? Like we send emails out, we give lots of value, we give all this training, and then, you know, every now and then we might sell a course, fine. And that course might cost what it costs, and that's that. But we're talking about somebody looking for auto insurance, completely different. We're not trying to build value and rapport with this individual and sell them something later. We're trying to say, dude, go get auto insurance. Because that dude's getting emailed 50 times from 50 different people. So you got to go. It is definitely a great strategy. You're selling high ticket e-commerce products that are following up with previous buyers, an MLM, whatever you're doing, wonderful. But anyways, I wouldn't do that with a CPA offer. It's just, you know, you want to email as fast as possible. Google has already announced that using ChatGPT for website content will kill your SEO. That's fine, because we don't care about SEO. We're just trying to get unique content on our blog post. And by the way, you know, you could also just take this and play around with the words here and there yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need to copy this as this thing that's going on and on and on and on and on and on, right? So that's that. Okay, we're up against the clock here. Hope you guys got some value on the credit card presentation. I love that presentation. and hope you got some value on the 3 hot seats. We do owe you a presentation from the SendPad CEO that we will, give to you in the coming weeks. I guarantee that. A couple of things, I actually even almost left without mentioning it. 2 things that I want to talk about. We will be bringing back office hours starting Wednesday next week. Let me just check, make sure I can commit to the right time here. Wednesday, next week, we're doing Wednesday. We will do next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Generally, they will be Wednesdays at around 11 a.m. Eastern. Sometimes they'll change. But we will be doing that in place of webinars mostly throughout the summer. We've done webinars in the past, and generally as the summer goes on, they sort of fizzle out. This is an opportunity now. We did a bit of an informal poll. I asked a couple times, and like the overwhelming response was webinars are fine, but I want your office hours. Okay. So we will be doing office hours once a week with me most of the time. Obviously, if there is a webinar or some new content that's worth discussing, we can and will bring that to you guys, but we will be moving towards that. So I don't know, type a 2 in the chat if you guys are excited about that. It's something we've discussed behind the scenes. And I think you guys will like that. Like I said, previous years, we've moved to like bi-weekly webinars, and like almost, the attendance just dwindles off. And then by the end of the summer, it's like nobody's there, and I'm talking to like 20 people, and like, what is the value? Nobody's getting any value. We also were like, well, we need to talk to these guys a little bit more frequently, try and make sure that they're getting as much success as possible. So let's do this every week. There might be a week where it's like, I might need to miss one, or like Aiden steps in or whatever, but we're going to keep this up once a week for the remainder of the year. And then, from there, like I said, we'll bring any new topics, content that is relevant. We can do that instead of in office hours once in a while. But hopefully you guys are pretty excited about that. Yeah, nobody seems to be bent out of shape. Okay, you have Lifestyle Masterclass with Steve Clayton next Wednesday at 4. Okay, then. I don't usually like this time, but let's do, you guys tell me. All right. Do you want to have, it's got to be Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my days. It has to be Wednesday. We're usually going to do Wednesdays at 11, but next week it can't be Wednesdays at 11. So do you want to do 7 p.m. Or 6 p.m. next week? Type 7 or a 6, and I'm going to get whoever types in a 7. With the most 7s or most 6s wins. 6, 6, 6. 5 is not an option. Just in case Steve goes past 5 o'clock. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, 6 wins. There's a couple 7s, but I can understand why people want 6. It's like you watch Steve and you just want to get the rest of it over. Okay, we'll do 6 o'clock, no problem. And then from there, somebody, what is it in CST? Take an hour off, man. You know how to do that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it. You know how to do 6 minus 1. It's 5. All right. So we'll do 6 next week. I'll put a bunch of office hours from there. And then on next week's office hours, I'll give you guys a bunch of times that we'll work through. All right. The other thing is, I know I owe you guys a Super Saturday Part 2. That is coming. We will do that at some point in early May, in about a month from now. Most likely as part of an afternoon session of another live event. So hopefully you'll be excited about that as well. Okay. That's it for this live event, guys. Thanks for coming out. Hope you had a good day today. Enjoyed the presentations, and I will see you next week at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll send an email out and look for the link in the training area as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.